The image of the child. The effects of an individual teacher, early childhood educator, or family worker can outweigh the effects of a particular curriculum or approach. This comes from the ELECT document, and it really emphasizes that regardless of whatever model of early childhood education or curriculum you use in your educational setting, the effects from that individual teacher will outweigh any of the empirical evidence or scientific research that shows that that curricular approach supports children. The educator is the key to that success and the success of the children within that program. The image of the child refers to our ideas about children and what we think they are capable of. Malaguzzi stated that it's actually difficult to act contrary to this internal image. Nevertheless, this image, whether conscious or subconscious, impacts how we teach and support children's learning. That's why we need to understand how we see children, because it does affect how we educate them, how we set up their learning environments, and how we support them in their academic and learning journeys. The metaphor of a fingerprint comes to mind when thinking of the mark we make when touching the lives, classrooms, and families of children we care for. Could our seemingly invisible marks on early years and education be what ELECT is talking about in that quote? It seems that way, that our impact, our whether invisible like a fingerprint, has an impact on the early years of children's development. When we analyze the lens that we look through when we view children in relation to our current practices, we can ensure we are demonstrating our beliefs in the classroom and better determine how to enhance the learning experiences we are offering children. The metaphor of a lens is used to describe the perspective we form based on our day-to-day experience, interactions, and observations. Our professional identities are shaped by our experience and are essential components in our role as educators. We interpret the world and are influenced by our experience and our perspectives. We need to realize how and why we view children in particular ways so that we can develop an informed understanding not only of children but of ourselves as practitioners. Urie Bronfenbrenner has a bioecological model of human development, and it can be used to help educators begin to identify the systems of influence that impact children as they grow. But it is also a useful tool in beginning to understand our lens. When demonstrating how our lens has been constructed, we can place ourselves in the center and begin to explore dimensions of influence from the beginning of our quest and the beginning of the quest that shape young lives. This contemplation of our personal background includes our culture, uh, generation, our geographical location, and these are all contexts that have profound impacts on how we view children and how children experience the world. The learning environment is an atmosphere created by people, materials, and time spent interacting. By assessing our environments, we have these thoughts in mind that we can begin to determine how and if they reflect our views of children or if our environment is sending a mixed message. For instance, you may believe that children should have the opportunity to explore freely, but realize that within your setting and within practice, you direct play throughout the day. So that doesn't give them the opportunity to explore, although your belief is that children should have the opportunity to explore. Or you may believe that children can make good choices, but in practice and within your learning setting, you designed a classroom that has a seating plan for each child, or you're very prescriptive as to what children do in that environment. That is not aligned, and it's not the environment is not speaking to what it is you believe children can do. And the environment is often thought of that third teacher. And it would seem helpful for us to analyze our lens and adjust it as needed to ensure that that learning environment is so much more than a physical space and classroom, and remind ourselves that for parts of the day, the learning environment is also outside. So, really extending our classroom beyond the individual or inside space. Reflecting on and shaping the understanding and working towards greater consistency between what we say and what we do provides meaning and strength to transform our early years program. Reflecting on our beliefs in relation to our practice will help to ensure that we are in alignment. In DLH, it says that setting out and acting on strong images of the child have a profound impact on what happens in earlier settings. So having that understanding of what we believe in children and reflecting on that and ensuring that our learning environment supports that really impacts the setting that we share with children and learn with children. So if we were to explore our image of the child, we would want to think about things like, if I believe children are blank, then I believe children can blank. If I believe children are blank, then my learning environment should enable children to blank. If I believe children are blank, then I will allow children to blank. Take some time and reflect on your image of the child. Fill in those blanks and determine if your image of the child aligns with your practice.